I've been getting a lot of reactions today, and I thought I would just share one of them with you because it relates, it's something that you might all relate to. Joe, this is absolutely awesome, Joe. Very, very well done, amigo. A classic and a cover. Congratulations, Dave Petraeus. This is all boss. I gotta say that there were two people who made this piece possible, aside from Rick Stengel, who I'll talk about in just a second. One was, of course, Paul Rykoff, who I'll have more to say about in a second, who gave me the names of a lot of people, including John. But Liz came to me from David Petraeus, as did a number. When I told Petraeus what I was doing, in his inimitable fashion, he lit up my email box for weeks on end, sending names and names and names. And there's a whole nother set of names of people like these who stayed in the military and are transforming it and are going to be the next great generation of military leaders. So, having said that, thanking him in absentia, I want to thank Rick Stengel, first of all, because as he wrote in this issue this week, when I began to embed overseas with the troops, I would come back, you know, first of all, I was entirely grateful to them for protecting my fat old ass on patrol. I mean, I had to lie to my wife, lie to my family, my kids are here, about what I was actually doing out there. And my wife would, of course, my wife once sent me a classic email, "I don't believe a fucking word you say." But when I would come back full of enthusiasm for the young men and women I met overseas, and it's really amazing that, you know, most Americans have no idea what you guys actually do over there. They think it's still yes or no, sir. They don't understand that, like Wes said to me, you know, he had more entrepreneurial freedom in Afghanistan than he did at Citibank. And it's true. You know, you're charged with something by your superior officer, and you got to do it and figure out how to do it. And the amount of creativity and energy and just sheer can-do Americanness that I saw out there always, always lifted my heart. And Rick indulged me in this, as he's indulged me in quite a few things, but this is really my greatest labor of love. So I thank you, Rick. Second of all, I want to
get you to stop talking to me about it.
Well, you ain't done with me yet, man. The second thing I want to say is I want to say something that you won't hear from him, but I'll say it flat out. Paul Rykoff is a great man. We've known each other for 5 years now, I think, since the 2006 campaign. And with Paul, it's never about Paul. It's like the military. It's never about me, it's always about us. It's always about you vets in the room here, you IAVA staffers in the room here. The guy never gives himself any credit. So let me give him some credit. This piece would not have happened without Paul Rykoff. And I just, you know, thank God for what you're doing. Congratulations. And there's a lot I could say, but there's one very important point in this piece that Rick described as a head snapper. And it's this. I was talking to Brian Stan, the Ultimate Fighting Champion who runs Hire Heroes, an employment agency, whom Paul introduced me to. Brian was saying that most of the veterans who come to him looking for jobs don't put their military service on their resumes, which is shocking. And if this piece does anything to make them a little bit more proud of what they've done for us and what they will do for us, then mission accomplished for me, although I hate to use those words. But that's really important. There's still a lot of people out there, even though there are, a lot of the people I write about in this piece are Rhodes Scholars and Harvard commencement speakers and graduates of Amherst College and Phi Beta Kappa like Wes Moore here. But there are an awful lot of people who are coming home and having problems, and those are always the people Paul talks about first. And in that regard, in a way, the Rhodes Scholars and the Harvards and the West Point graduates are all rather impressive. But the heart and soul of this story is at the beginning of it. It's Specialist John Galena and Staff Sergeant Dale Beatty getting blown up in a Humvee and coming home and following their most basic impulses, which was not to leave a fallen comrade in the field. If it was true there, it's true here. And if it's true here, it's not just for other Afghanistan and Iraq veterans, it's, as John told me, other veterans as well. And if you could do it for other veterans as well, you could do it for the whole community, the rest of us. And as I wrote in the piece, I think that these amazing people are going to come home and they're going to help the rest of us refine the sense of community and rigor and optimism that we seem to have lost. But John, Dale isn't here tonight because Paul said he was doing a fundraiser. I hear he's playing drums in a rock and roll band. Is that This is the only legless drummer I've ever heard of. But that's what these guys are about. And so I just want to say in closing that this has been the greatest privilege of my 42 years in journalism. So, watching them downrange and then coming back and being able to write about them, and I ain't done with them yet. But the congratulations all go to them. Thanks.